note, 1, 2, 3. You're going to lower it just a little bit. Play that one. Then you're going to play the fourth note, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you get those ones so far. And then you're going to play the note that's in between the fourth note and the fifth note. So that's that one right there. So far we have 1, flat 3, 4, sharp 4, 5, and then play the one that is the seventh note of your scale, and then the last note of the scale. If you want to, you can also lower the 7, play that one. So you got 1, flat 3, 4, sharp 4, 5, flat 7, 7, 1. That's the blues scale. Good luck. Have fun.
It's a blessing to see people with their heads up to the sky still. 'Cause honestly, for the same people, life can be so real. I'm amazed by all your strength, I am, and I'm grateful you come through. And I can't go without saying that I thank God for you all now. I put my light in the air for you. I see what you do, yeah, I see what you're going through. I put my light in the air, the truth is beautiful, beautiful. Now put your light in the air for us. Everybody singing together, sing a new song. Now put your light in the air for love. It's beautiful, beautiful. I see what
Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock, the lesson is about to get started. In case you're new with us, there's a few things I'd like to show you to help you throughout the lesson. So this lesson is about reharmonization. That means we're going to take an existing song and we're going to find new chords to play over the same melody. Now, that means that you're probably going to need to already know about chords and keys and probably intervals, and probably have already several songs that you can play well enough that they actually sound like the song. But even if you can't do that, you might pick up some interesting theory bits along the way. So feel free to join us. The goal, though, is not this song. It's not about the song that we're working on. It's really about taking the concepts you like, the reharmonizations, the substitutions that you like from this lesson, and then applying them to other songs that you already know how to play. These lessons are always guided and shaped by your questions, and if you're live with us today, there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is in the public live chat, and the other is the Ask Jamin a Question button, where you can ask me a question privately, and I won't share your identity in case you're afraid that your question is stupid. But it's not. If you're in the archives, though, then just open up the survey. At the end of that, there's a place where you can ask your question. I will say I frequently get questions from students in the archives watching a lesson from 6 months ago, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So please try to be as specific as possible. If you're watching this at LearnPianoLive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The PDF will often have additional video links inside, so you can get more in-depth instruction on each of the topics. And if you're the kind of person who likes to print out the PDF so you can make the same notes on your physical version as I'm making during the lesson, now would be the time to do that. The MP3 is just a play-along track so you can practice more after the lesson. In traditional lessons, a teacher is going to actually present some new concept for maybe 5 or 10 minutes every couple weeks. The rest of the time is going to be spent applying and refining those concepts. Well, here I'm spouting off hours of new information every week, so it's totally unreasonable to expect you to actually absorb all of that. Instead, the goal of these live lessons is for you to find some little nugget of something that makes sense, but is a bit of a challenge, and for you to go practice it, because practice is where all the improvement's going to happen. So don't feel bad if you have to leave the live lesson when you find that little thing that you're going to practice. And of course, if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind the live lessons or replay in the archives as much as you want. If these live lessons start feeling random or meandering, it's because they are, on purpose. So if you're the kind of person who wants classical training with a step-by-step method, then you're going to want to check out Kloppel Academy on the website. It's included in your live lesson subscription, so you can do both or either. And the upper levels are seriously hard work, but it's going to take you all the way from ground zero all the way up to being ready to enter any major music college as a piano major in classical or jazz. And thankfully, I think that's about all we need to cover before the lesson. So if you'd stick around afterwards and fill out the survey, I would love your feedback. But for now, let's have some fun and make some music. I'm convinced this is everybody's favorite. Everybody loves the reharm lessons. Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin. This is the incomparable Kendra, moderator in the chat room.
Guess what? I saw the movie Glass in theaters, and it was so good.
Glass?
Glass.
Okay.
Yeah, it like follows Split.
Wait, that's real?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay, so there's like Unbreakable, and then Split, and then Glass.
Okay.
I never saw Unbreakable.
The prequel Shatter, and the next one has got to be something about...
No, I think this was the
little
last
shards
one.
Exist forever everywhere you go.
There's no way there's another one. It has to be the last one.
Because
Because
it's on a book series and the book series is done?
No, because I'm not telling you why, because it would like spoil it. But like it was really, really good. A little disturbing, but
you are underestimating how long it's been since I've been to the movies. I had a baby for the last decade, so...
I hadn't gone in a while either, but then my family got a bunch of like free movie passes for Christmas and stuff.
Okay.
So,
cool.
I've been going. It's been great.
That's wonderful. I'm never seeing that movie, but not because I don't like it. Just that's the truth about all movies at this point.
Okay.
If it's not a cartoon, I'm probably not seeing it.
Well, it's not a cartoon, so. But yeah.
All right. Well, we need to get into this. It gets me every time. Every time I'm like, "This is incomparable Kendra," and I expect you to say something, and you always jump in with your phrase, your thing. So we've been working on "Waiting on the World to Change," and we need to reharmonize it. Hopefully, if you're here, you can already play the chords. In fact, Kendra, let's go ahead and go to the far tablet so that they can see all of the notes, because at this point we've already played through all the chords, we played through the melody. If you don't know how to do that already, you need to go back to one of the older lessons, because we've been through all that stuff. But I will play this with our track, and today our track is just Kendra singing the melody. We're going to jump right into the verse part. Me and all my friends were all misunderstood. That's not the appropriate sound effect for that.
Yes, it is.
We'll let the listeners decide. Me and all my friends were all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing, and there's no way we ever could. Now, if it feels like already you're totally lost, usually I say, that's all right. Get the part that you can. That's not true here. What I just did, me and all my friends were all misunderstood. That right there, if you're not with me on that so far, then we need one of the older lessons, one of the past couple weeks to catch up. But assuming that you can do that along with our track sounds like this. 2, 3, 4.
Me and all my friends are all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing, and there's no way we ever could. Now we see everything that's going wrong with the world and those who lead it. We just feel like we don't have the means to rise above and beat it. So we keep waiting, waiting on the world to change. We keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change.
And that's all we're going to do for right now. There is a bridge, and there's the last tag of the chorus. But that's basically the idea. That's the part that we want to reharmonize. I think we're going to try to reharmonize a smaller section, because when we try to do the entire song all the way through, it ends up taking multiple hours, and most of it is repetitive. That's a word. Anyway, so let's talk about what we can do to all of those chords. Usually we start out here with reharmonizing based on the melody, using minor, major, and suspended chords. We're not. We're going to jump straight down to, actually, let's get through this one first. Changing the chord quality where the melody's not on 3, and we usually spend a lot of time talking about what the 3 is and how you would know. What I'm going to tell you this time is just try changing the sound of it. In some cases, this will make sense if you have been at the previous reharm lessons. In some cases where the melody is on the 3, you can still change the chord quality, and either the melody sounds good with it or the melody will automatically change with the chord. So to some extent, it doesn't really matter where the melody is. You can just try different chord quality changes. And in other cases, it's just going to sound bad even if the melody isn't on the 3. So that doesn't entirely matter. If you're super advanced and all of that is an easy calculation for you anyway, then go ahead and do that calculation, because it's a decent predictor of what's going to sound good and what's not. But chord quality just means whether it's major or minor. So this is where Kendra jumps in and gives me some random stuff. We got a D and a B and a G and a D and an A and a B and a G and a D. Which of those 8 chords, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8, would you like to change randomly?
6.
6. The 6th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a B minor. So we're going to change this from a B minor to a B major. Just take that minor off of there. And if we do that let's do that on all the 6th chords. This is going to be very interesting. It might sound good on some of them and not on others. B major, G to D. Let's try it with the vocals in there. Sound like this. 2, 3, 4.
And all my friends, all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing, and there's no way we ever could.
Sounds kind of funky.
Now we see everything that's going wrong with the world and those who lead it. We just feel like we don't have the means to rise above and beat it. So we keep waiting, waiting on the world to change. We keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change.
All right, so I don't like that one. We're not going to hang on to that one. It sounds funky right there. Now, I do think that it would sound better if it happened on this B minor right here for reasons that we can't get into and probably wouldn't make sense anyway, unless I told you that a G and an E minor are related. And if you follow the circle of fifths, B's move to G, move to E's. But all this explanation might not be necessary if this ends up sounding terrible. Anyway, so let's just try it and see if it sounds good. I'm going to change all of these B's to B majors instead and see if I like that any better. Here we go. 2, 3, 4.
And all my friends all misunderstood.
No, I don't.
They say we stand for nothing, and there's no way we ever could. We see everything that's going wrong with the world. And
I kinda
those who
do.
need it. We just feel like we don't have the means
Here's the tiebreaker.
to rise
See if it
above
sounds good
and
here.
beat it. So we keep waiting,
Yes.
waiting on the world to change. We keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change.
Okay, I like it right here, especially on the chorus part, which is fine anyway. If you're doing a reharm on a song like this that has so much repetition in the chord structure, then you're probably going to want to keep the verse similar-ish and then have the chorus similar-ish. So it's not just a random string of all kinds of reharmonized little paths. There's no like continuity to it anyway. So for all of that reason, and the most important one, it just sounds good to me. I'm going to keep that one right there as a B major. There we go. B major, and all the rest of them I'm going to keep a minor. Kendrick, go ahead and pick one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8, but you can't pick 6 because we already did that one. And you can't pick 2 because we just did that one.
4?
4. Ah,
Oh, no.
man, I was hoping you were going to pick 3. I'm not going to like 4 at
How
all.
am I supposed to know? You
They're
said
supposed
pick
to be random. That's why I'm
randomly.
not allowed to pick them, is because I
Well,
pick all
but
the ones that
okay,
I'm going to
then,
like,
oh.
and then people at home are like, but you knew what it was going to sound like ahead of time, which is true. So
How
that's
about
fair.
3 then?
So 3, I was going to like 3, but especially on this 3 right over here. I'll go do it in a second. Hang on. First, this is a D. We need to change it to a D minor. So, and we could change all of the 3s there to D minors. That would sound like this. And
And all my friends all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing, and there's no way we ever could. Now we see everything that's going wrong with the world and those who lead it. We just feel like we don't
hate it.
have the means to rise above and beat it. So
Now
we
here's
keep
my-
waiting, waiting on the world to change. We keep on waiting.
it's supposed to be a minor, sorry.
Waiting on the world to change.
Okay, so I'm not keeping any of those. Now, I will say if we change all the Ds to D minor, it would just sound like it was in D minor. Some of the melody would have to change, but it's not going to because it's on a track, which is one of the cool things about these kinds of lessons is that you can hear what it sounds like if you don't alter it. If you're trying to sing along with your reharms, it's hard to know whether... unless you're a pretty advanced singer or player, whether you're accidentally changing the notes as you go, because your voice will adapt as your ear hears the new chord, and it'll slide up or slide down a little bit to a different note. So playing along with a track is helpful to know what other singers out there are going to be able to do. If you've been to the jam sessions very much, you know, like when Kendra does her stuff and I'll like just really mess with the chords a whole lot. I'm usually trying to play chords that don't mess with her melody line very much and don't force her to sing other stuff. So if you're playing with other people, you're going to want to keep that in mind. You can't just go reharming whatever chords you want because it's going to change what they can do. You want to keep at least their part consistent, even if the chords around the melody shift and change. Cool. So if we change them all to minor, it would sound like this.
And all my friends all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing, and there's no way we ever could. Now we see everything that's going wrong
That one sounds
with the
weird.
world and those who lead it.
Sorry.
We just feel like we don't have the means to rise above and beat it. So we keep waiting, waiting on the world to change. We keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change.
So let me change all of them to minor chords, like all the ones that would be minor, so you can hear what it would sound like. If it was actually minor, it'd sound like something like this.
And all my friends all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing, There's no way we ever could. Now we see everything that's going wrong with the world and those who lead it. We just feel like we don't have the means to rise above and beat it. So we keep waiting, waiting on the world to change. We keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change.
So you could kind of turn it into a minor song. It's not necessarily the D minor itself that sounds wrong, but D minor in context with all those other chords, which matters. So you can't just, that's not an excuse to like go change it to a D minor. I still don't like the D minor. I'm still not going to hang on to the D minor. I'm just saying that the D minor in context with the other chords is what's making it sound funky, not the D minor in how it relates to the melody. So we're still only changing one chord so far. And yes, this G over here was the one that I wanted to switch. Let me show you what that sounds like if you change that one to minor. Here we go.
And all my friends, all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing and there's no way we ever could. Now we see everything that's going wrong with the world and those who lead it. We just feel like we don't have the means to rise above and beat it. So we keep waiting, waiting on the world to change. We keep on waiting on the world to change.
Yeah, actually, I like all of those as minors. Man, I want to change all the G's to minors. We're not gonna, because we didn't pick it randomly, and that's what we do in these lessons. But let me play it for you anyway.
And all my friends, all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing and there's no way we ever could.
Especially the last ones. That's
Now we
the
see
second G's are.
everything that's going wrong
I'd keep this as a regular
with
G,
the world and those who lead
and then
it.
play the next one as minor.
We just feel like we don't have the means to rise above and beat it. So we keep waiting, waiting on the world to change. We keep on waiting on the world to change.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, I want to change all those G's to G minors, but it didn't come up naturally in our list, so I'm not allowed to. So far, all we've got that I really like is that B right in there. That's all right. There's plenty of stuff still to do. Let's jump down here to adding in 7s and 9s, because it's probably the fastest way to make your oh man, I really hesitate to use this word, to make your covers of songs more jazzy. So if we just add in 7s and 9s, if we change all these chords right here to 7s and 9s, 7s and 9s, 7s and 9s, just all the way through. Turn everything into a 7 or a 9. So that means on a D chord, that's a 1, a 3, and a 5, the 7 would be right here. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the key of D, which is the key that we're in. Again, we discussed all that in other lessons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the 7th note if I start on D. So that would be the 7 that goes with the D chord in the key of D. In the key of D, with the D chord, the 7th note is that. So that's the 7 that I would add in. So that's how I'm deciding which of the 7s I would add in. And then if you just keep going past 7, 8, 9, that right there, I know right now in context it might sound really horrible. I'm about to play it. It's going to be the sweetest thing ever. So there's that. And then B minor, same thing. 1, 2, 3. So you just go all the way through your scale and then play those ones. This one, yeah, actually that one works out. And then G, and then D, and then A, B, G, D. So if I just add in 7s and 9s to my chords, just staying inside the scale, I'm not changing anything outside the scale. It's all in the key of D, all white notes except for F sharps and C sharps. Those have to be the black notes. In the key of D, just adding in 7s and 9s, it sounds like this.
And all my friends, all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing and there's no way we ever could. Now we see everything that's going wrong with the world and those who lead it. We just feel like we don't have the means to rise above and beat it. So we keep waiting, waiting on on the world to change. We keep on waiting, waiting on the world to change.
So that might be all that you want to do with your songs, is just add 7s and 9s to them. That's plenty of work, going through all the songs that you like and know and adding 7s and 9s into there, staying inside of the key in almost every single case. Just finding out what key you're in, add in the note that is. Another way to find the 7 and the 9 is just take the root of the chord and split it up and go on both sides of it. So instead of playing this as your D chord, just stay in the key of D and go on both sides of the D. Except this isn't in the key of D, because this one's supposed to be sharp in the key of D. So that one right there would be the D that you'd play in the key of D. And then you stay inside the key, take your root and split it to both sides. Go one note to the right and one note to the left, staying inside the key, and you'll come up with your 7s and your 9s. And that's going to make all that stuff sound more jazzy. We're about to do our feature of the day. First, let's play through this thing one more time. Just with 7s and 9s and playing that B in there.
And all my friends, all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing, and there's no way we ever could. We see everything that's going wrong with the world and those who lead it. We just feel like we don't have the means to rise above and beat it. So we keep waiting, waiting on the world to change. We keep on waiting.
He's a G minor.
Waiting on the world to change.
All right, so that's all of those chords. It's time for our feature of the day, which today, oh, that's right. Our tip of the day is your habit notes. So every time you walk up to a piano, there's a thing that you want to play. In most cases, you have that thing. You like walk up, and it's just that maybe it's like if you were in a piano store and you went around to each piano and you're testing out the piano. I apologize to all the piano store owners that are playing that right now, because they hear that a trillion times a day. But whatever it is that you like, that's your automatic thing. What I would recommend is that you just use that against yourself to help yourself get better. That's using it for yourself, I guess, as a healthy habit. Just decide ahead of time. My new thing is I really stink at the key of G flat. And every time I come to a G flat 7, I always play the wrong note. And so I really wish that was better G flat. Or the 7s and 9s thing in the key of D, that really threw me for a loop. That B minor 9 thing was crazy. And so every time I go to the piano, that's going to be the one thing that I do. And if I catch myself doing that other thing that I do, I'm just instead force yourself to create some new habit until that thing, because you're going to play that a million times as you walk by your piano every time you, okay, oh, it's my B minor 9. There it is. And then it's going to get way easy, and that's going to become the thing that you play all the time. Then you switch it up and turn it into something else. So that's only like 3 seconds of practice that you get, but you get that 3 seconds maybe, couple 100 times a year as you're going by your piano. So I would recommend you use that to your advantage and against your habits to make yourself a better pianist. Whatever that thing is that you're working on right now that's bugging you, figure out what it is and then make that your new piano habit. Let's go to the intermediate version of this thing. So sadly, the lesson preview has come to an end, and it's time to say goodbye to everyone watching the free streams. Of course, paying subscribers at learnpianolive.com can continue watching this lesson and several hundred others like it in the archives. So come on over and check us out. And if you like what you saw, at least like and subscribe, and then tell your friends to head on over to learnpianolive.com to start enjoying this journey with us.